You are welcome to yet another episode of HN What's Your Say? The #1 listening show, where we discuss real issues with real people like you. We are still featuring R. Kelly. Real name Robert Sylvester Kelly. Also known as the R&B King. Movements are typically born out of pain, injustice, and the need for a societal shift. But what happens when a movement strays from its noble purpose and becomes a tool for power, profit and destruction? Today, we're diving deep into the narrative surrounding the Me Too movement and its alarming transformation into a mercenary force used to dismantle reputations and lives. And at the center of this conversation is a controversial story of R. Kelly. The Me Too movement started as a heartfelt cry for justice, a platform to amplify the voices of survivors and hold perpetrators accountable. Its roots are undeniably important, shedding light on the hidden abuses many may have suffered. But as with any movement, the potential for misuse always lingers. When financial interests, media sensationalism and unchecked allegations enter the picture, the original mission begins to crumble. Over time, the movement has morphed from a cause-driven initiative into a weapon. One wielded not only against the guilty but also against the potentially innocent. We've seen this weapon deployed countless times. Allegations without concrete proof are now wielded with the power to topple careers, destroy legacies, and to silence dissent. No longer is the focus on truth and evidence. Instead, it's now about the court of public opinion, where guilt is simply assumed and innocence is an uphill battle. Robert Sylvester Kelly, as the world knows him, is no saint. Like many individuals, successful or not, he too has his flaws. But simply having flaws does not equal guilt of every crime alleged against a person. In his case, the allegations are as shocking as they are questionable. R. Kelly's music, legacy and influence made him a cultural icon. A man whose work transcended generations. But his success also made him a target. The question is, were the allegations against him about justice, or was there another agenda at play? Let's break this down. It's no secret that once allegations emerge, the media seizes the opportunity to amplify them, often without waiting for due process. In R. Kelly's case, for example, the media frenzy ensured that the public already viewed him as guilty long before any court proceedings. How can one receive a fair trial when their jury pool is saturated with headlines and documentaries painting them as a monster? This is where we start peeling back the layers of this issue. Movements like Me Too require funding. They need resources to organize, rally, and litigate. But where does that funding come from and what strings are attached? There's a disturbing pattern of billionaires, corporations and vested interests backing these initiatives, not to champion justice, but to manipulate outcomes in their favor. Whether it's removing a competitor from business, silencing a voice, or tearing down a public figure who no longer fits the narrative, these players have learned to weaponize movements for their selfish gain. Meanwhile, R. Kelly's case isn't an isolated one. Look closely at the timing of the allegations, the coordinated media campaigns, and the sudden influx of accusers, many of whom came forward decades after the alleged events. Is this a quest for justice, or is it part of a bigger and more calculated game? And let's not forget the financial incentives for accusers. Lawsuits, book deals, interviews and speaking engagements often follow high-profile allegations. When accusations turn into lucrative ventures, the lines between truth and profit become blurred. History has shown us how groups presented as relevant and important can turn out to be tools of utter oppression. Take the Commodores, who facilitated the transatlantic slave trade back in the years, for example. They justified their actions under the guise of progress and economic necessity. Yet today, they are remembered as perpetrators of one of humanity's greatest atrocities? The same fate may await the Me Too movement if it continues on its current trajectory. A movement presented as one to protect women and promote justice risks being remembered as a mercenary group for hire, and a disgrace to the principles it once stood for. One of the most dangerous tools in this arsenal is the retroactive application of laws commonly known as ex post facto laws. These laws allow individuals to be prosecuted for actions that weren't illegal when they occurred, or whose punishment was smaller back when the alleged offense was committed. Such laws undermine the very foundation of justice and fairness. They create a precedent where anyone regardless of their status can be targeted unfairly. Today it's R. Kelly. Tomorrow it could be anyone, including members of the movement itself. It's rather unfortunate to see that today, the Me Too movement is advocating for the application of such unjust laws. In future they may have to advocate otherwise in order to change the very status quo they created. When a system is built on shaky ground, it eventually collapses under its own weight. None of this is to dismiss the real pain and suffering of any survivor, if any. But justice must also be fair, evidence-based, and free from the influence of money, media and manipulation. The Me Too movement has the potential to be a force for good, but only if it returns to its roots. It must resist becoming a tool for destruction and instead focus on genuine accountability. As for R. Kelly, history will tell his story. But let's ensure that it's a story based on facts and not a fabricated narrative designed to entertain and profit. Movements shape society. Let's make sure they shape it for the better. According to Anglia Criswell, if someone is profiting from TV appearances related to the R. Kelly case, it raises serious questions about their credibility and objectivity as witnesses. Witnesses should be focused on justice, not personal gain. Allowing individuals who stand to benefit financially to testify creates a conflict of interest and undermines the integrity of the judicial process. It's crucial to ensure that witnesses are credible and free from ulterior motives to maintain fairness in high-profile cases like this. According to Mary Ray, how could they deny R. Kelly another trial when there are so many inconsistencies in the testimonies? Government witness Lisa Van Allen admitted she lied to jurors about her age, claiming she was 17 when she was actually 18. Azriel Clary changed her story twice, conveniently aligning it with the financial opportunities that came her way. Her mother even pretended to be her daughter at one point and messaged him, leading him to think Azriel was in fact 18, and let's not forget the allegations about Azriel using a fake ID to claim she was 18 when asked by the police. With all these contradictions and deceit among many more, how can we say justice was truly served? Everyone deserves a fair trial, and this case is far from it. If you want to be featured in our video releases, send us your clips by emailing them to hnnewsroom242@gmail.com or use Google Drive for larger files. Be sure to include your name and any details you'd like us to know. We can't wait to showcase your contributions. That is all we had for you today on HN What's Your Say. To keep updated whenever we post a new video, subscribe to this channel now. Also remember to hit the bell icon and enable notifications. And feel free to share your opinions with us in the comment section below, and let us know if you would like us to publish your views in our next release. We value all our subscribers' opinions.